Hello YouTube. So in today's video I'm gonna try to tackle the fuel pump that's behind this rear wheel here. I'm gonna take the rear wheel off and see how is the fuel pump doing, because when the car gets hot, when I drive it for half an hour or an hour, when I try to start the car it doesn't work. So I need to see to look a little bit at the fuel pump and maybe buy a new pump. A new pump, it's not so expensive, it's 50 euro or 75 euro. Now I'm also charging the car's battery. So here in the wheel well, behind the wheel, as you can see, here is the fuel pump. Is really quite accessible. Now what I'm gonna try to do is get under the car and dismount 1, 2 and 3 screws it has. So I will take out the pump and see what type of pump it is and if it's okay for this type of car. So let's get cracking. So I managed to unmount the fuel pump. This is the bracket that holds the fuel pump here behind. It's something like this, and it's quite difficult to get to the upper part of this screw. This is how I stop the fuel from getting out of the fuel tank. Before you dismount the pump and change it, just make a sign on it so you know, if you don't get another pump, to where to put your old pump. So make a sign with the pen on where you take your brackets, your wiring harness down. So just make a sign on it. Okay, let's go and change the fuel pump now. So I managed to get the fuel pump out. The problem is this fuel pump is for a diesel engine. So this fuel pump is made for Volkswagen TDI engines, and it's not suited for high pressure gasoline engines. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go and buy the proper fuel pump. Also, I hope it fixes my cold start issue, because when I start the car with the engine cold, it doesn't start really well. It takes maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So hope this solves the problem. So this is the next day of that I'm trying to repair the fuel pump. This is the fuel pump that came with the car. It's not an okay fuel pump, because it's a fuel pump for diesel engines, and I bought the specs of the fuel pump. It's made in Italy. So it's a Meta Andoria, and the fuel pump is this one. So as you can see, the fuel pump is much bigger. It didn't came with this part. I had to find this part. This was too small, so I had to find this part. I spent like 10 euros on this part. It's an old part, but I hope it works. So this fuel pump will go right somewhere about here. I will clean the bracket, and afterwards I will install the pump. So at the point that I'm mounting the wires, the brown wire here, as you can see, The brown is the minus, is the negative, and the green and black wire is the positive, as you can see here on the pump. Also, I have a voltmeter here, so if we turn on the voltmeter, we touch this, you can see its mass, and if I take this and put one side here on the negative, and we will put one here, we will try to find a point where as you can hear, when I touch, the tester sounds. So this means always test with the tester to see if the wires are set correctly. So the brown, as you can see here, the brown wire is the negative, and the green and black wire is the positive wire. Now I will put everything back together and I will try to test the fuel pump to see if it's working. So wish me luck. What I want to show you is that also I use the soldering iron to solder the wires to the clamps here. So the wires are soldered, as you can see. So this gives better connection to the fuel pump. So even on this side, as you can see, I put a little bit of solder there. So let's hope that this makes a good current transmission, so the fuel pump works better. So now I'm gonna tighten the screws here and also this one, and we will I have to put this under here, and then we're gonna test and see if the car starts and everything is okay. I tightened everything up. Also, don't forget to put the protection on so water doesn't get inside here. I also tightened this part up. I cleaned this part of the screws here. I cleaned them. Now for the final part, I will go and get a pan to put under here so the gas doesn't spill out. So we're gonna need to take this out and put this in. Trying to clamps the tube here. As you can see, it's cracked, so I need to change it in the future, but for now I think it's gonna be okay just to connect the tube into the pump. So let's see how it goes. So the job is done. I also started the car. It started a lot. As you can see, here is the fuel pump. So I also put some Vaseline on it, on the screws where I mounted. So this is how I put the fuel pump in. Now I will go and put the wheel on and go get some gas and do some test drive. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.